we could produce much more trucks than we can at the moment, because on the other side, we are facing enormous pressure on the supply chain. I would say it's one of the worst years ever in my long career in trucking, where we sometimes have to touch a truck 3-4 times to add the missing parts. We have in a couple of factories more than 10,000 trucks where 1 or 2 parts are missing, and we desperately search the world for those parts. Now you talk about the inflationary pressure. Yes, energy, very important in the building of our trucks, much more expensive. Raw material, much more expensive. And we are at the moment pushing those price increases on the raw material side through, so we can at least hold our margins in that business. Very challenging year, but we are pretty confident for 2022.
Martin, great answer. Look, let me ask you about your workforce, your excellent workforce as well. We know that IG Metall is looking for 8% up roughly for its associates in the current pay round going on. What about your workers? Are they, on the whole, getting more than 8% or less than 8% in terms of pay rounds?
I mean, first of all, that is the negotiations. IG Metall in Germany made their first, let's say, ask. The end result is always the result after a long negotiation with a lot of parameters in it. How long will that contract run? How much will be a one-time payment? There are many multiple elements which at the moment, it would be just speculation. One thing is clear, the salaries and wages around the globe are on the rise, which is part of the inflationary pressure we see all over the industry.
Yeah, Martin, just to talk about that inflationary pressure, are you seeing any evidence right now that customers in either North America or Europe or other parts of the world are starting to become reluctant to pay the higher prices for your vehicles? We're looking at other economic indicators at the moment, and clearly there is some response here to the Fed and other central banks tightening the cost of money. Is that beginning at all to affect demand?
I don't see that at the moment. Look, we could, especially in North America, where we have the highest increase on the interest rate side, we have a pent-up demand because we couldn't supply already last year the demand for our vehicles. The same this year. So I would say in the total market of North America, roughly about 200,000 trucks, what I call pent-up demand. That means trucks that are older, that need to be replaced, and that, in my opinion, makes me optimistic that we'll see a not too bad 2023. And not too bad is a German expression for it could be a good 2023.
Martin, we must ask you about the situation with regard to Russia-Ukraine. Obviously, you're going to take some impact to earnings as they get reported. But can you tell us a little bit more about what the tail on this business issue may look like going forward? Is it more than a one-year event? Do you think ultimately, if the conflict continues, that we will see further business impact?
We had a pretty strong business in Russia. We were working very closely together with the leading Russian truck manufacturer, KAMAZ, and we seized and stopped our business immediately, 4 days after the invasion into Ukraine. That gave us a significant, close to 200 million hit in our first quarter, which we reported, and for us it's done. We have no business with Russia at all. What the future would look like, I think there are more experts around, better experts than me around. Tell me how that really absolutely horrible war is going to end, and what at the end of the day will be the relationship between the Western world or Russia. I have no clue, but we will follow definitely the guidance our politicians are giving.